We are entering a golden era for business YouTube creators. The algorithm has changed. You don't need a big following in order to make big money anymore. And now YouTube is recommending all these niche small channels. So if you're selling some kind of service or product where you're looking for high value clients and you want to attract those kind of people to your businesses, now is the time to start on YouTube. I personally have built my B2B sales and entrepreneurship channel, this channel you're watching right now, to over 250,000 subscribers who are highly targeted for a specific niche. Now, if I was able to do that for, a niche like sales, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to do it for your niches as well. And I will show you the strategies on how to do this. The first thing I got to talk about is how exactly is YouTube changing, especially as we move into 2025, like what is the future going to look like? Now, let me go back in time and show you how it used to be. So when I started YouTube 5 years ago, this is how it was. This is going to represent the YouTube traffic, right? And the water represents people viewing. So in the beginning, they would basically kind of promote these big creators. So if you had a lot of subs, you would get a lot of views. And then if you were a small creator, like when I was starting out, I was putting out pretty quality videos in the beginning, but they were only getting like 50 views, 100 views, 200 views. And I had to build that up over many months, right? But how it's changed over time is that the flow of the water and the traffic is now flowing and almost prioritized to high quality content, which a lot of times is created by these smaller creators because they're much more hungrier. So if you are a larger creator and you're still doing the same style, the same thing over and over and over, it just doesn't work anymore because the competition is fierce. And also, YouTube wants to promote these small creators because the more people feel like it's possible to make a living on YouTube, the more people will jump on it, the more creators there'll be, the more innovation they'll have, the better content they'll have, and the more people will continue to watch YouTube, right? And so this is the opportunity for anybody who is building a personal brand, especially if you're teaching or educating or helping somebody and bringing value, right? I'm not talking so much on the more entertainment side. That's a whole different game. I'm talking more of the education entrepreneurs, the content entrepreneurs, the people that are selling services, right? This is where the game is going to be played moving forward in 2025. And you're going to see a whole slew of service providers and businesses come onto YouTube and just kill it because right now it's the untapped opportunity, right? You want to be standing here, just getting all this traffic while you can before there's too much competition. Okay, you understand you should be creating content on YouTube. This is how you get leads, right? This is how you get customers. But what type of content you should be creating? Well, if you think about it, a lot of people get overwhelmed with YouTube because they look at Mr. Beast and they think, oh, I'm not that entertaining. I can't, spend all my time just creating content. I got a business to run, right? That's fair. So the way to do it, and this is kind of the meta right now, which is the opportunity, it's that you don't have to have high production quality. You can literally just have a camera in front of you and you're at a desk and you're just talking. A lot of the videos that I put out, I'm literally just using a PowerPoint slide and kind of putting it on the screen, and just talking talking head style. And sometimes I'll even just use a Figma board where I'm just draw these diagrams and explain certain sales processes, right? Or maybe I'll even have a Google Doc and just go line by line. And that definitely does work actually. So it's not so much about how high the production quality is, especially for education. It's more about the value of the content itself. Right? Are you providing value? Are you helping people make money, be more productive, whatever it is? That is the meta right now, right? So a lot of the videos that are popping off, especially, moving forward in 2025, it's going to be people just straight up talking to a camera for 30 minutes, very minimal editing. Maybe they have a whiteboard behind them, right? It's just very simple stuff. So it goes into what is it they're actually saying that bring value into somebody's life, right? And so the content that you should be creating is this. You look at who your ideal customer is, and you look at what problems they have. Then you look at what solution you're selling to solve those problems. Then you just take a piece of your solution and you turn it into a video, right? It's literally that simple. How I'm helping people now is I'm helping people with this program called Founder X. And what I do is I help people build their personal brands, monetize it, turn those views into customers so they can live a fulfilling life, right? So that's the pitch for Founder X, right? If you want to learn more, link is in the description to join our free school community. My ideal customer is people who have skills, maybe from their 9-to-5 job, and they want to start their own business and build a personal brand, right? Other people, they're already started. Maybe they got a couple clients, but they want to take it to the next level. They want to learn how to create content, have consistent leads, and have consistent revenue, right? And so all I need to do is create content around what? Content creation, how to build a personal brand, how to close deals, right? How to run a free school community. These are all problems that my ideal customer has. So all I have to do every week is create a video tackling one of these problems and just give the sauce away. And with enough goodwill put into the market, and so maybe somebody watches like 5 of my videos in a row, eventually one day they're going to want to click the link in the description, book a call with me, and then we're going to have a conversation on how we can work together. And then if they like what they hear, they become a client. It's that simple, right? And so whatever niche you're doing, right? Whether it's project management, helping people get high paying jobs, video editing, copywriting, right? You name it, all you have to do is solve a piece of the problem for your ideal customer, and they will continue to watch your videos over and over. Even if you took the same problem and you created different spins on it, you can create 20 videos on how to write a cold email. If you look back on my catalog of YouTube videos, I have how many cold email videos now? Maybe like 20 plus, right? They all kind of solve the same problem, but I come at it from different angles. And just because somebody watches one video, it doesn't mean they're going to watch another video. So sometimes that new video you put out with different packaging attracts a different type of person. You just have to keep solving your core problems over and over and over. And that's your content. It's literally that simple. It can just be here at a desk with a background. You see the nice river, you see the buildings, right? Whatever you live, just do it there, right? This is like nothing fancy. And just put a camera in front of you. An iPhone works fine, and just solve problems. That's going to get you extremely far when it comes to creating content. So the other challenge that a lot of newer creators have is they're going to think, oh, like, what if my videos don't get that many views? So let's do the math here. In a niche market, if you're solving a really painful problem for people that have money, right? Even if your videos got 1,000 views, 2,000, 3,000 views per video, which is technically a lot in a high value niche, well, how many people would you need to sell to make it worth it? So let's say you put out a video, it gets 3,000 views. Out of those 3,000 views, maybe in the video you said, hey, if you want to learn more, I put my calendar link in the description. So if you want to work with me, let's have a conversation, right? So maybe out of those 3,000 people, maybe 10 people book a call. Maybe out of those 10, maybe you sell 2 people, right? If your average value per customer is, let's say, $2,000 and you sold 2 people, that's $4,000. So that one YouTube video made you $4,000. If you look at it like that, does the YouTube video suddenly become worth doing? Absolutely, right? Then you would just think like, oh, all I have to do is keep pumping out these videos, leads will come to me, and I just got to sell them on the phone and just provide the service. So you don't need a lot of views. It's a fallacy, because some of my videos, they'll have hundreds of thousands of views, right? I got the most popular cold email video, the pitch videos, whatever. But then when I ask my clients, especially now for Founder X, which video was the one that, got you to book a call and then eventually you became a client, they'll be like, oh, it was this video on how you said you quit your 9-to-5 job and then you traveled the world to start your own business. That was the one that got me to book a call. And that video might only have 3,000 views, 4,000 views, but that's the one that made the money. So it's not about how many views you're getting if those views aren't qualified, if they're not worth a lot of money. You would rather have a niche following of high value people watching your videos every week and eventually booking a call with you and selling those guys. That's extremely more valuable than being famous and broke, right? And to be honest, I've been creating content for a long time, and I gotta say, a lot of people that get a lot of views, especially if it's just in productivity, right? That's very general. It just doesn't really convert into a lot of dollars. So solving a specific problem for a specific type of person is going to be way more revenue generating than just focusing on the views itself. Those are vanity metrics, right? A client of mine asked me the question, let's say you put out some videos and you're only getting 50 views, does that make you look dumb? Does it make you look unqualified to teach? Well, here's the thing. I've hired certain consultants in my business who didn't have that many likes. They didn't have a big following, but they did the job pretty well, So for example, my accountant that I hired, right? I live overseas because I have an online business, right? And I need to figure out the best way to do my taxes as someone that lives overseas, an American citizen, right? So I need to go to a specialist who understands my situation. And so the person I went to, they had a little bit of content, which is how I found them online. But were they a big influencer? No, absolutely not. But they can actually do the job, and I pay them thousands of dollars every year to file my taxes and set up my companies and all these kind of things, right? So again, it's not about how many views you're getting. It's about what problem do you solve and how do you maximize the dollar you're getting per view, right? So if you're selling a service that's $5,000, right, then yeah, like if you get 1,000 views, that's a lot. If you get 50 views, it's okay. They're not going to necessarily judge you and say you suck. You got to be real, right? Like if you're selling accounting services, people kind of understand like, you know, you're not the best creator, but if you're providing value, it's enough. If you're selling something like, I'm going to show you how to go viral on Instagram and your Instagram doesn't have any followers, yeah, obviously they're not going to follow you, right? Or they're not going to buy anything from you. So really it's all contextual. But for most people, you're not necessarily selling just marketing services, right? Because you probably wouldn't be watching this video if you were. You're probably selling like project management, you know, how to get a job or how to do accounting better, how to be a better leader, right? Those kind of things. People don't have the expectation of you being this big influencer. And I think you have to take advantage of that, because if you are, let's say, I was looking this up yesterday because a client was asking me, they were like, oh, like there's not enough people in the world that want to learn project management. And then I looked it up using vidIQ, which shows you like the search volume and stuff, right? And competition. And there's a lot of people looking to learn project management, the skills, so they can get a job. So I'm like, bro, you think your niche is too niche and too small to do YouTube? You're wrong, because the views are there. It's crazy. Like just go on YouTube. There's videos about project management that have tens and hundreds of thousands of views. Don't think your niche is too small. Actually check, you know, because don't fall into that trap. And a lot of times, like regular everyday skills, like there's a lot of people looking for that stuff. Like a lot of people want to be accountants, editors, project managers, sales reps, coders, right? These are all things that are all popular on YouTube. Because why? There's so many jobs that exist and people want to make money, right? At the end of the day, you know? So I want to give you an example that's pretty relevant to me, right? So there's this channel called Nomad Capitalist. Now I'm not promoting them or anything. I don't use any of their services, but it's an example, right? So this guy has been doing YouTube for 10 years in the niche of accounting. So if you look at his old videos are literally just him in a camera just talking about how to do, like how to live freedom by doing like living abroad and doing your accounting, right? So he's just trying to get clients for his business. And then now he basically turned it into this whole like media production. And all he really does is talk about subjects that people who would be open to having multiple passports or optimizing their taxes because they're living somewhere, right? He's attracting those kind of people. So he's like, you know, living proof that you can take a boring subject like, you know, overseas taxes and stuff like that and turning it into like a media like giant essentially, right? And so in any niche, if you're creative enough, you can find creative ways to do well in content. Like for me personally, I started in the tech sales niche. It was like how to get a tech sales job, how to do the interview, you know, how to do a cold call. That's how I started. And at the time, there's not many people who are young and, you know, had that experience in Silicon Valley teaching it online. And I was like one of the first people to do that. So after that, there's a whole wave of people doing the same thing, but it's like I found a way to make it more interesting, right? So even if you're in a boring niche where you think not a lot of people care about it, you'd be surprised, you know, like there are a lot of people that want to know what you have inside your head. So now you understand how this whole process works. Let's talk about like, if you were to get started tomorrow, like what do you need? Number one, forget about all this fancy equipment, right? I've been doing YouTube for a while. I have fancy equipment now, but you don't need it. All you need is this, an iPhone, right? The latest iPhone is the cameras is so good that, and it just like adjusts all the lighting and everything for you. So get your iPhone, get a tripod, film a video with sunlight, because sunlight is usually your best light source. You don't need to understand all the fancy lights. Just use sunlight. And then pick a specific problem that your ideal customer has, right? So if they have problems generating leads or getting a job, talk about the best ways to get a job, the best ways to generate leads, right? Just look at YouTube, see some examples. And then just, you know, for your script, it's very simple. Just do it on a Google Doc, right? All it is like this, your intro, right? Some kind of hook, something interesting. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get your dream job and make $100,000 a year, right? All the body really is point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each point is basically a pain, which you reverse engineer into a solution. So for example, here's how you're going to get a high paying sales job without any sales experience. When you go, see, so like I'll start the body with that, and then I'll go into the solution of how you would solve that problem. And you just go, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, knock out the problems. In the end, just cut it really short. Don't summarize everything. Just like, that's what we have for this video. See you in the next one, right? And that's it. And I would also add, like, you have to have some kind of call to action if you want to make it worth your while. Like, if you want to work with me more, you know, check the link in the description, and that's it. In the beginning, that's all you have to do to get started, and you just have to do it every single week. Where most people fail is they don't do the first video, And then if they do the first video, where they fail next is that they don't stay consistent. So as long as you think of it as part of your business, and that, maybe you don't look for an immediate ROI, like you're not going to make money tomorrow, but if you do it over a long duration of time, you will become an authority in your niche. People will come to you. Like nowadays, when I go on sales calls, I'll be like, oh, so like, how'd you hear of me? And they'll say, oh, my friend recommended you because I was trying to learn sales, and they said this Patrick Dane guy was pretty cool, and that's how I stumbled upon your video. That's how it is now, because I've been doing it for 5 years. Again, like the first few months, you might not get that many views. I didn't get that many views. I wasn't making money on YouTube, but it took me about, I would say, like 4 months before I made some money on YouTube, and I just grew it from there. So it's simple. It's actually very simple. You just have to stick with it. And if you need help with that, you definitely want to check out my free group, Founder X, where I do mentor people. I also do a lot of free analysis on people's personal brands. I check out your YouTube channel. I check out your LinkedIn profile to see how you can improve. So if that's something you're interested in, Founder X, link is in the description. So I'll see you there.